when we talk about honoring people, yeah, I just have reduced this to paying bills when they are ill or giving money to their families. But I think it's all wrong. When people have done so much for a nation, one thing that all of us want is to be remembered. And because they say that when your name keeps ringing ringing through the ages, that's where the memory of once you mention your name and ask what did that person do, and then you tell the story again, and it feels that every time they hear your name and then they tell the story, the person lives again. So I think it is important for us when we're talking about having a hall of fame, the national gallery probably at the Abuja National Stadium, where we have a hall of fame, where we have videos and pictures of our sportsmen. I think the time has come. Over the years, several people have tried to do it. Some have tried to run through private companies to fund it, but we have not done it. I think about a few days back, Leeds United, they opened the lounge and call it Lucas Hardebe Lounge. Hardebe is South African. He played for Leeds for how many years? No, not many years. But while he was there, he made an impact. Now that lounge is there. I can bet you there are some young Leeds fans who are not born when he was playing for the club. But each time they see his name there, they go back and research and to find out who he is. And every time they do that, his achievements, his name comes up again. That's why I feel that for all our heroes, we either name an arena after them, and I think Lagos State missed a chance when they redid the Lagos Stadium. Instead of finding the name of one of our past heroes to give to it, they gave it the name of a military man. I feel it is important for us because I'm sure over the next few years, as we look to expand our sports, we're going to build more arenas. When Delta State hosted the African Women Championship some years back, the government built 4 arenas in different local governments, and they gave them the names of the town. I think that was also an opportunity news because those arenas are still there. There are a lot of great male footballers that have come out of Delta State. A lot of male footballers that have come out of Delta State. When we start naming arenas and opening Hall of Fame galleries for our heroes, then we are taking the first step towards immortalizing them. Because every time now we talk about the stadium opposite the National Stadium, we say Tesla Balogun Stadium, okay, and then Thunder Balogun's name comes up again. So I feel that it's important. It's not just beyond paying their bills or giving money to their parents. Let's start setting up legacies that will keep them in our memories. And also, I think since we are thinking about this, it also will help if we keep records. A lot of young Nigerians, when they hear Shepherd Orebami now, they don't know who he is. Orebami scored 2 great goals at the first the 19th national final that Nigeria won. Imagine if there's a video, the highlights of that game, or the tournament playing somewhere, and they have a picture of the team that won it somewhere around, and people, this is Orlando Jones. You see the movie and then you look for the picture, and that's where they are remembered. So I feel, and then all those who are coming after them, when they see the names of heroes past being displayed like that proudly in our arenas, they also, this incessant hankering after money, they will come and pay me this, so you owe me that. I think this will stop, because they know that even when we stop playing, our families, when they come here, they feel a sense of pride, what we have done for our nation. Then they will calm down and they focus on serving the nation rather than looking for money. I think the issue of money becomes important because we are not doing the right things that we should do. For instance, England, I think English players get £2,000 or £1,500 per cap, and so the money even goes to charity. It's not money that you don't get because the players don't need the money, as it were. They make enough from the club structures, and so whatever else that is bonus is just the only money I know that they get in bulk is when they go to a major tournament like the World Cup, and of course because the FIFA law insists that a certain percentage of the money will go to the player. So the higher you go, the more money you earn. So the players, I know that once they earn it. But in Africa, because we have officials who feed off national teams, who make a lot of money out of national team. There's so many stories. We've had stories of where players, where athletes and players they go abroad to play tournaments, and the officials disappear with their girlfriends and their travel partners to go shopping, while the artists are doing something where they are performing, and they can't get because they can't find the officials. And then when they see the officials, they see them with bag loads of stuff that they have purchased. The artists are what. So I think that's where the mentality came from. That hey, when I play for you, you must give me money. That is one. The second place where that comes from is when sometimes when we run the racket through this national teams and players that are not well known at their clubs are playing for clubs that are not well known, and their big payday comes from playing for the national team. Of course, they are going to demand their monies, and so until you develop structures that take the focus away from the national team, yes, the national team will still be the main thing, but it will be the all and be all, because the whole structure of the Nigerian football as it is right now is built around national teams. The leagues are not doing well, whether men or women or the lower ones of these ones. And so the focus of the national team, the only place where players can make money is the national team. That is where it's at. So I feel that first off, we need to take away everything that makes the national team the focus. When we build the right structures and things are running well, like I said, when the player knows that, look, even after I've gone, my name will be immortalized. Each time that each time that a story is told, our names will be mentioned. For instance, the team that won the Olympic gold in 1996, what have we done for them? Nothing. Of course, they got the bonuses, they got paid, and the money has finished. But I can assure you. But you can't go to Abuja Stadium and see a picture of and these guys achieved something that okay, Brazil didn't win an Olympic gold until they hosted it. So Nigeria won an Olympic gold medal in football before Brazil. Just imagine that. Now imagine if there's an archive, like a place at the stadium, like a hall of fame, where the highlights of those matches can be played with the pictures of those boys displayed. Forever they will remember. And so for me, I think when we do the right things, that clamor to get paid as it were will die down. But as long as we are still going about this the wrong way, that's what we get paid. It's as simple as that. I saw a picture of the stadium where the final of the Nations Cup that was held in Gabon, where it was played. I saw it, I think sometime last week. The stadium was built because Gabon was going to go to Nations Cup. When I saw that picture, I cried in my spirit. They had erected, I don't know whether it was a mini toilet or something, a building, the center of the pitch, and there are bushes around, and the whole stand was filled with grass and saplings of trees. That was the stadium that hosted the final of the Gabon Nations Cup that Zambia won. And I think that is the story of African legends, African sports. So recently, some group of professionals who played the Budalawa, they went to the stadium and Ashile Stadium. Now the shooting star team that won the Nations, the Conference Cup in '76. The Rangers team that won the Conference Cup in '77. These teams in Enugu and at the Liberty Stadium in Ibadan. And I remember that Gabonese story because I was going to Liberty Stadium. Why can't we maintain structures? Because for me, at the Liberty Stadium, where shooting stars recorded their biggest victories, if that stadium has still been okay now, there should have been a section of that stadium dedicated to that team of shooting stars. Because trust me, what those guys did at that time, just like the team that won the Nations Cup in 1980, the Olympic team of 96, that shooting stars team of 76, and the Eyimba team that won the 2003 Champions League for their team in Aba. I think all this, we should start putting all these stories together. And once you can do that, you can't take the individuals. Because Mudalawa, like you said, Mudalawa was a genius. Now, if you didn't see Mudalawa play, you thought Okocha was skillful. Yeah, Okocha could play a bit. Etimesi could play a bit, but Mudalawa was the only player I know who played almost every position on the pitch apart from goalkeeper and did well. He played right back, central midfield, played as a winger, played as a striker. And every position where Mudalawa played, he excelled. Mudalawa was so good that, look, he was a Rolls Royce of footballers. He did things effort. You know Iniesta at his best. That was a shadow of what Fundalawa was. He played football without effortless football was what Fundalawa played. And of course now I'm talking about it, some people say what they were better because they didn't see Fundalawa play. But I can tell you that Fundalawa played and it was all that and much more. So for me, I think it's a tragedy. It is tragic. It is sad that it is only oral history that we have of Fundalawa. No pictures, no monument. And we say the same thing about you. I'm so sure that in the first time we say the same thing about Rashidi Yekini. Rashidi Yekini scored so many great goals that when people talk about drama nowadays and they are hitting him, I'm thinking, you guys will see Rashidi Yekini play. Rashidi Yekini, again for those who don't know, everywhere Rashidi Yekini played in his career, he was top scorer. Nigerian League, Greece, Portugal, everywhere Rashidi Yekini went, he broke the goal scoring record. That's how good that man was before he died. And so for me, it's not just about football, it's about the tragedy of Nigerian football, Nigerian sports, and all the great and living. For instance, if I mention Charlton Hizule, probably thinking, who is Charlton Hizule? You don't know him, but of course, maybe you heard about Mary Yali. So many greaters that have gone through, that have represented Nigeria, and hey, honestly, sometimes those of us who saw these guys perform, it is disheartening and it is very sad. And so you don't blame those who followed them, who demand to be paid right now, because they see what happened to those in the past. They realize that even once they are gone, they are done, and so they want to be paid now to give something to their families, so they can families could see part of their sweat and see what they suffer. Because trust me, when you have made a name for yourself all over the world, the family will demand you. So what's news for us? And they have the right to, I think they have the right to ask, because if your family can have you present physically, at least drop something. And that's what these guys do. They ask the government to drop something, so that they can show their families what they have been up to. I've seen a lot of Nigerian players all over across many generations. I grew up supporting Shooting Stars, and I saw them from 1970, 1971 up till now. And I've seen some massive players come through Shooting Stars. Now, Rangers were one of their biggest rivals. I also know some great players from Rangers. And then Imba came along, It's difficult to say, for those who think it's a J.J. Okocha or it's a Messi, good luck to you. You can only gauge what you saw, and I can't deny you the pleasure of saying, oh, you saw J.J. and J.J. was a good player, in his days, in his days. So yeah, J.J. was good. Messi was magnificent. He was good, but did you ever see Nadia for the play? No. Did you see Christian Chukwu at his peak? Did you see Simikesha at his peak? Did you see Henry Wosu touch Africa all over? Did you see Haruna Ilerika dribble of Africa? When Nigeria won the African Games Gold in 1973, did you see what he did? Because at that time, Guinea was the powers of African football. And before that final, all of us were afraid that, hey, we are facing Guinea in the final. And then Ilerika got on that pitch with Sonia Yarikwa and Olayombo, and the tore Ghana and the tore Guinea to shreds. Those are great players. So, when we have this discussion about the greatest Nigerian football ever, let's do era. Even when we are looking at particular eras, you still cannot say these are the best players, because of course they play different positions and they all contributed to a team sport. The problem of Nigerian football of Nigerian league is myriad, is many. And I've had the arguments put forward, and I've also put forward at some time that it was cable TV that killed Nigerian football. I don't think so, because there's cable TV in Ghana, they still watch matches. There's cable TV in North Africa, they still watch matches. I think the problem is we didn't handle that part very, very well. It wasn't the fans that took the ass of Nigerian football. It was our officials that took the ass of the fans away from Nigerian football, that way they handled the property. And I feel that one of the first things we can do, we can learn from, we can take some lessons from South Africa. In the midst of at the end of every season, you see South African clubs, they go to their communities, they go to schools, they interact with the students, they do community project work. I feel that every team in Nigeria that is based in the state, they should find their way back to the community. Because if you don't find your way back to the community and sow the seeds for the children to tap into the team. The reason why I'm passionate about Shooting Stars was because I watch Shooting Stars growing up. So as much as I like the English league, I still keep an eye on Shooting Stars. Even in the NNL, because I've known them from when I was young. And so everybody growing up, all of us want heroes. And I think one way we can do it, first of all, is it will take a while, but I think for the Nigerian League, find a way to get primary school students to get to the stadium. Even if it doesn't give a create a segment for them. Let's start sowing the seed of planting the seed of these clubs in their hearts. Let them come on Saturday, even if that for some of them they don't get to, they want to, but they don't have the opportunity of seeing these footballers. So get them to the stadium and let that program run through secondary schools. Since we don't have fans anyway, so let's have segments of students from primary and secondary schools every match day coming free of charge. Create a segment for them. Let them watch and let the players after the game go interact with them. Let them get a feel of seeing superstars. Now when these players go abroad, like for instance, I have players that have gone from Ghana to play abroad. When they come back home on vacation, let them begin to connect with these kids. That way, the children know that okay, the player I seen today, he goes abroad, I come back next time and give us share stuff for us. And so we are tying the clubs to the hearts of these boys. When they grow up, even if they become fans of United, Aston Villa, yes, my Aston Villa, they still have a place for these clubs in their hearts. Every year I buy Aston Villa jersey, I buy Shooting Stars jersey. Sometimes I use it for jogging, but because it's my club, I want to have their latest shirt. The same way I buy Aston Villa shirt. And if you have 10,000, 50,000 of these children sprouting in the future, and they start swimming back to the club, then you start seeing the seeds of it. But you might not see it in 5 years, in 10 years. But that's a place to start. The other thing we need to do is we need to take, of course, for this to happen, we need to address take security seriously. A lot of arenas, there's no security. For instance, I can't take my children to watch football matches because if one violence erupts, I can't be running out and go watch my children running. If you can go to match venue, watch games and go, which means that you have to remove all the miscreants, whatever it takes, around from our arenas, whatever it takes. Ghana did something recently. They created a special police branch for sports, which means that they are trained in crowd handling, and they'll be there always at sporting events to guard. I think we should go that way too, because hey, as it is, I know they say that we don't have enough policemen in Nigeria. What if we start recruiting policemen that will train for sports? What about that? And I'm sure the odds are that we'll find more people willing to join the police force because it involves being at a stadium. Let's start thinking out of the box, because where we are now, unless we start thinking out of the box, we won't get out of it. My name is Akinbode Obuturi, Nigerian sports and NBA expert. Keep watching Sports Bloom NG.